To this day.
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 What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz, Malik Scott. Get this. Malik Scott has something to say about Andy Ruiz or the potential fight thereof facing Andy Ruiz. Quote, Deontay Wilder's trainer Malik Scott has spoken out about who he wants next for his charge and says he has his eyes set on only the biggest names in the heavyweight division for Wilder. Scott named Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua as the two names atop of his list of potential opponents for the Bronze Bomber, and that a final eliminator for the WBC world title against Andy Ruiz Jr., heavily tipped to take place in 2023, did not have the same appeal. However, Scott told ES News that it was looking probable he and Wilder would have to settle for Ruiz Jr. next. Wow, not settle. That doesn't sound any promising, but hold on. We have some more coming from Scott. He says, what I want is Alexander Usyk next. What I want is Anthony Joshua next. It's looking like we may have to settle for Andy Ruiz, but I'm hoping not. Damn. Damn, I hope he doesn't settle for Andy Ruiz either. Let's read on what else he had to say about Andy Ruiz. You know, maybe, here it is. Here's the cleanup. I don't mean that in a way to tear Andy down. Andy is a very dangerous fighter, but I'm looking at history-making fights, stadium-filling fights like Joshua versus Wilder, like Wilder versus Usyk, Wilder versus Fury 4. I'm interested in these kind of fights. Wow. Okay. Well, let me counterpunch. I think they look at Andy Ruiz as last place, as another pretty much stay busy fight, even though it means really, well, what to Wilder, what to Team Wilder? Not a lot. You know, you can't look at this besides look at disappointment when it comes to thinking about fighting Andy Ruiz. You know, I honestly think it has to mean something. You know, I mean, the WBC final eliminator, Ruiz fought Ortiz, and then Wilder fought Helenius. So they made this so-called WBC eliminator shit up. You know, it has to mean something. But if it doesn't mean anything, oh well. It just shows you the legitimacy of this whole quote-unquote eliminator situation with the WBC. You know, they're saying that, hey, we don't really care for it. We don't really want that fight. Hell, we want either Anthony Joshua, Wilder, or Alexander Usyk, Wilder, or even Tyson Fury 4 over Andy Ruiz. So if this was a third place, Andy Ruiz wouldn't even place. No, nobody gets a medal or a reward for being fourth place. You know, and I think what Malik Scott's getting at is the reason for that is he doesn't have time to fuck around. Yes, the Helenius fight was one thing. It was a tune-up fight to get Wilder back in there. I get that fight. I see legitimacy of that fight because Wilder did take a KO on his last fight, and he had that time out of the ring, that time to heal, that time to reflect on that particular fight. You know, and then he needed time to make his comeback. Okay, great. Knock off the cobwebs, get in there with Robert Helenius, show us what you got, so let's move forward. Now they're moving forward. Andy Ruiz, honestly, I don't know how the hell he got in the top 5, let alone 10, or 10, let alone 5, right? I don't see how he got to that situation anyway. So is it really truly warranted being the WBC rankings? No, because they make those up as they go along. And I think what happens, they get with the advisor or whatever, the powers that be, and see what are the likely fights that we can make, that we can build, that we can invest in making some money over, and that would be Ruiz and Wilder. But Malik Scott, he's looking at Joshua, he's looking at Usyk, and he's viewing his fighter with no time to waste. His fighter just turned last month 37 years of age. He doesn't have time for those type of fights no more, and I don't really blame him. I really don't. I mean, Ruiz and Wilder is the easiest fight that could happen, politics-wise, because they're both advised by Al Heyman. They're both with PBC, Fox, Showtime, or whatever that outfit is over there. I don't know where they're going to go, but they're with the same company. They're on the same team, right? So, I understand that. But him not wanting to fight Andy Ruiz, it's a good sign even. Why? Because it shows you that Deontay Wilder wants to fight the best fighters. He doesn't want to fight guys like Andy Ruiz. Why? Because guys like Andy Ruiz didn't want to fight the best when he could have fought the best. He got the AJ fight, but that was kind of like a give him fight because of other people's infidelities, not because he deserved to get there. And then when he lost that, he didn't do anything to really achieve that again. That's really all it's really reflecting, people. Okay, that's all I see. He just didn't want to get into politics of it, but he knew everyone is better or is a better option for Deontay Wilder than Andy Ruiz. Like they say, they want stadium fights. They don't want fights with a guy that once upon a time did something a long fucking time ago. They don't want anyone like that. They want someone that's on top right now, that can make the money right now, not that person that made money with another guy that was also big. Okay, it's been a long time since 2019 these days. Okay, this is going on the 4th year that he upset the world. Okay, 3.5 years to be exact, right? So, Team Wilder not wanting that particular fight, I think it's warranted, and I think they only want the bigger fights. And that's a total 360. I mean, a total 360 on how they used to be back in the day. Okay, because Wilder fought every Tom, Dick, Harry, Jim, Kelly, Frank. Everybody that was nobody they fought. Now they want everybody that's somebody. So I can't be mad about that at the end of the day. But will it happen? The powers that be, though, people, don't be surprised if you do see a Wilder versus Ruiz, simply because the fights that they want, they don't get. And I keep telling people, these fights that these guys want, Al Heyman doesn't really supply them. Okay, we have to throw that out there. He's not going to supply them because he doesn't advise them. And he can't advise anybody anything else. And then it's awkward. It'll be in a situation where, well, where's the guarantee? Well, no, we do pay-per-view incentives over here. But then maybe, what if they come like Terrence Crawford was coming? Any of them. And with Anthony Joshua, let's look at that for a minute. Anthony Joshua's exclusively signed with DAZN. So what Malik Scott is saying right now, they would have to take a deal with DAZN. They would have to bite the bullet and say, okay, let's take that money that may or may not even be on the table anymore. You remember that $100 million or that $120 million deal? They would probably have to do that. But rest assured, Floyd, Money Mayweather is fighting on DAZN, so there shouldn't be a problem in reality, right? Then again, I don't know. That's another question for another day. But you guys tell me what you think about Team Wilder not wanting to settle with fighting Andy Ruiz. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!